Hey, has anyone seen Matt? He hasn't uploaded anything in forever.
You're telling me so much for that upload schedule.
Ha! You're so tiny. You're just adorable.
You calling me small, please.
Anyway, where's that Matt guy?
Where he always is.
Ah, slacking off as usual. Don't worry, I got this.
Okay, I'm up. What do you want?
Matt, how long have you been dozing? You have any idea how much you've been missing?
Well, let's see. Search for the Lost, Forge Plays, building videos, drawing videos.
Okay, well, A, that just made me sadder, and B, I'm referring to all the Sonic stuff coming out as of late.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I might have some catching up to do.
That's an understatement if I ever heard one.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, lately I've been a little out of the loop when it comes to recent Sonic content. This is mostly due to the fact that my channel has slightly strayed away from being Sonic focused. Now don't get me wrong, I still love Sonic, and it will always remain as arguably the strongest staple of my childhood, and I may have unintentionally given the impression that I have completely given up on anything Sonic related, but that's not the case. So in order to make up for that miscommunication, I decided to do a fun little video on me reviewing certain types of Sonic content over recent years. Hey everybody, Matt here, and boy has it been way too long since an actual upload of mine. Apologies for that, as I've been struggling with a busy schedule as well as lack of motivation. But before we look at that, let's revisit a few other Sonic things that I really need to catch up on.
Yeah, and make it snappy. This cameo ain't a freebie, so I'm charging by the minute.
Some of you may be curious as to why I did a review for the first Sonic movie but never the second one. Well, not only was making the first review a huge hassle copyright-wise, but I overall just never managed to make time for reviewing the second movie. But I feel I definitely missed out because if I enjoyed Sonic 1, then I really enjoyed Sonic 2. It took everything great about the first movie, sprinkled in some video game faithfulness, and tripled the awesome. Sonic has grown and matured quite a bit, they nailed Tails' personality, with a nice bonus of getting the original voice, and Knuckles? Oh, Knuckles. This movie was definitely his big break, his reclaim to fame, and Idris Elba was a spot-on choice to play him. This Knuckles was the perfect mixture of the strong-willed, duty-bound warrior with just a hint of that slight knuckleheadedness we all know and love.
But not as bad as Boom Knuckles, so don't worry, folks.
Jim Carrey once again knocked it out of the park as Eggman, with a design that's slightly closer to the games, which was nice. And I never thought I'd admit to being a fan of Super Eggman, but here we are.
Yes, I'm here, and yet I'm not all there.
And getting to see G.O.N. in live action was a real treat, and a small hint to where these movies were heading. Also, I was pleasantly surprised at how they tackled the concept of the Master Emerald. Making it a housing unit for the actual Chaos Emeralds was different, but a really cool different. And on that topic, the Supersonic scene? Amazing. I think I actually cried, not gonna lie.
Oh, you are bawling alright. Haven't seen you that much of a crybaby since Yuki died.
Still too soon, Forge.
Overall, I love how faithful this movie was. Not only did we get a sequel that was good, we got a video game sequel that was good. I don't think people realize how fortunate we are for that. A good way to summarize the success of these two movies is this one comment I saw that said, the first movie walked so the second movie could run. And yeah, that's pretty fitting, I'd say. Okay, bit of a confession real quick. I'm not as caught up on the Sonic comics as much as I should be. Yeah, I know. It's hard for me to find a decent comic place, and I've slowly stopped trusting shady comic websites. However, I did get as far as the Zombot arc, and I have some good friends who fill me in on stuff that comes after. And I have to say, from what I've heard so far, I've been immensely impressed with Ian Flynn and IDW. I might break some hearts saying this, but I've never been a huge fan of the Archie comics.
You take that back! That library book is overdue.
Okay, geez. Aside from anything involving the Freedom Fighters, not a lot of stuff that happened in the Archie comics really felt like Sonic to me, if that makes sense. Most of the time the comics felt too out of place and, let's be honest here, really weird. It felt like the writers were trying a little too hard to establish their own stuff that was intentionally different from the games. With IDW, on the other hand, Ian Flynn and the rest of the crew give the impression that they legitimately care for the Sonic universe. Everything feels like it meshes perfectly with the games, from the art style and new characters, to the locations and fun little Easter eggs. Just the fact that they decided to work directly off Sonic Forces really gained my respect right off the bat. I still love the fact that they brought back Neo Metal Sonic as some sort of fail-safe plan, Man by Eggman following the war. Fantastic use of a great villain. Also, speaking of villains, look at this guy! This is a Mephiles level scary villain right here.
What's that guy's name again?
Oh, I think it was Mimic. Oh my gosh. When it comes to these new comics, Ian Flynn has really been on a successful streak of newcomer characters, and Mimic the Octopus is only one of many examples of that. Tangle and Whisper make a really fun duo of two polar opposite characters that somehow get along. Jewel the Beetle is a welcome addition, being another Bug Sonic character, and Kit and Surge seem really cool too. Also bonus points for trying to make the Zeddy relevant, because that's not an easy task. In general, I'd say these guys with IDW really seem to know what they're doing. Here's hoping their comic game keeps going strong.
Such a powerhouse of comic publishing. What does Ken Benders have to say about that? That's what I thought.
Ah, Sonic Prime, the show with a gripping concept, good humor, fun characters,
And absolutely none of that after the first season.
Okay, I don't know how hot this take is going to be, since I know a lot of people do like the show start to finish, and if you do, that's totally fine. Me, however, man, there was just so much more they could have done, especially with a multiverse concept. Why does this genre keep getting botched?
Oh, like you're one to talk.
Though to be fair, Sonic Prime had a really solid start. The new voice cast was easy to get used to, and the animation was just gorgeous. Like, really solid action scenes, that's definitely a plus for this show. And even though the alternate realities were just the equivalent of putting Sonic characters into cosplay, it was still fun to explore the different universes and character variants. And the Chaos Council characters were pretty funny. For one episode.
What are you talking about? I thought they were great as a one-off throwaway joke.
Forge, they weren't a one-off joke, they were the actual antagonists.
For one season?
2.
Why?
Needless to say, the gimmick with the Chaos Council wore off very quickly. Pretty much the only running joke with them is they bicker and don't get along. Weirdly enough, that gets old pretty quick. Kinda makes you wonder how these screwballs even conquered their dimension in the first place. And don't get me started on that stupid Eggman baby.
I can't say I condone the kicking of little babies, but in this very unique case...
Honestly, that sentiment goes for all the Chaos Council members. Over the course of the show, they get so bad, so unfunny, and so unbearably annoying that I actually began to miss the days we had Chris. Heck, at this point, I would have even accepted Zavok as the antagonist. Sorry if this may come off as ranting, but I consider myself a villain connoisseur. I always say that they're the most important element of any story, so if the villains are trash, I will take notice. Especially with a franchise that has always had a killer lineup of bad guys. And what's really sad is I'm not even against the idea of multiversal Eggmans teaming up to fight Sonic. That's something that has lots of fun possibilities, like a Metal Robotnik, or a Lady Robotnik, or a Mobian Robotnik. You could really have fun with this idea. Instead, we get a bunch of low-effort throwaway joke Eggmans that even Sonic Paradox would say no to. Otherwise, when it comes to the rest of Season 2, the whole thing just feels like a recycled Season 1. Same dimensions, same characters, same villains.
I mean, why would anyone want to see new dimensions? It's not like multiverses are infinite or anything. What?
I never made it to Season 3, and sadly I don't really plan to get that far. I sorta heard some good things about that Tails Variant 9 being the antagonist, which does sound kinda cool, even though I thought his turn to evil was just a tad contrived. Point being, I enjoyed Season 1, and I think that's enough for me. All in all, Sonic Prime may not have been my cup of tea, but Season 1 definitely showcased its strengths.
Oh, and Shadow's also in this. If it seems like we forgot to acknowledge that, don't worry, so did the show.
This is Knuckles, and I'm back. I've been away for a while.
Ah, the Knuckles series, the only reason anyone got a Paramount Plus.
I mean, it certainly wasn't for the slew of SpongeBob spin-offs.
Now, as some of you might be familiar, a lot of people were pointing out a very obvious problem with this series, that being Knuckles had very little Knuckles in it. Yes, weirdly enough, the titular character really didn't get that much screen time. Instead, much of the focus went to the character Wade Whipple from the previous movies, who Knuckles basically takes on as an apprentice. Because of this writing decision, overall enjoyment of the series is very dependent on whether you like Wade's character or not. Me personally, I think he's funny, so I was never really turned off from it. His dynamic with Knuckles is highly entertaining, and I did notice quite a bit of character growth from him. Also, maybe the bullying subplot was a little out of place, but I still found it kind of fun. And at no point does the show ever feel like it's trying to do Knuckles a disservice. Pretty much every scene he does get is masterfully done. It's the same argument people make with Godzilla 2014, where having the titular character show up only a few times makes each scene feel more anticipated and earned. Now, do I think he should have been in the show more? Oh, definitely, but I was still pretty happy with what we got. It definitely could have been executed worse. Really, my only gripe is that we got to see Pachacamac, but not Tikal.
That's what I'm saying!
Oh, and extra bonus points for strongly implying the existence of Iblis in this universe. I know they technically didn't say him by name, but come on, that's totally him. Hey, wait a minute, I thought the name of this game was Sonic and Shadow Generations.
Oh, that's cute.
I am very much looking forward to this game. The more stuff I hear about it, the more hype I get. Just the fact we're getting Sonic 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog acknowledgement really means a lot coming from Sega. Kingdom Valley, excellent choice. Space Colony Arc, epic. Freaking Metal Overlord?
Wait, what? That's awesome! Though it would look much better in black and yellow.
Oh, and bringing back Black Doom is kind of fun. And I like how Shadow's getting new powers from him. The wings are especially sick. But I don't think anything compares to Mephiles being confirmed recently. Heck yes! He is more than welcome back.
Hey look, it's Memphis, Tennessee from Tilted Town.
But I'd say my biggest takeaway from Shadow Generation so far is the animated YouTube episodes we're getting alongside it. Dude, these look amazing, and the first episode was fantastic. The only problem is it was so short. I wanted to see so much more of this super cool animation. Oh well, either way, look forward to the shorts, and really look forward to the game. They're both going to be a heap of fun.
This thing sure sounds familiar.
You can call it a little self-indulgent, counting this as Sonic content to review, but I feel the need to give a brief update on where this is after so long. And to be honest, I really don't know where it's at. After rewatching earlier episodes of Search for the Lost, I will say that in certain ways I've kinda grown to not be happy with some of it. Truth is, I started this thing when I was younger and way more ambitious, and also did very little planning at the start. There's a lot of disjointed plot elements and things that just don't go over well, and even the audio and footage quality aren't as good as desired. But don't get me wrong, the quality has definitely gotten better as the episodes went on, and I would by no means say I'm ashamed of making this project or anything. There are plenty of things in this series that I am proud of, especially the cast and crew I've had the pleasure of working with. But since younger me has really kind of worked the series into a corner plot-wise, lately the crew and I have been going all-out damage control trying to fix and tie things back together. And in all honesty, I personally have been a little on the fence with this series despite our best efforts. One part of me says this hot mess is beyond repair and really should just be laid to rest, while another part of me says we really should stay strong and see the project through to the end. And while I can't express enough my gratitude for you guys getting this show as far as it's gotten, I do feel like lately it's been falling off a bit. Nothing's final and it's not like we're giving up just yet. We'll keep working with the script and such and figure out what we're gonna do next. It just might be a little while till things are under control is all. Let me know what you guys think of this series, whether you think we should stick with it, or if it's time to move on to newer things. We don't want to disrespect the series that started it all, but at the same time we're greatly considering the future of this channel. I'd be more than happy to hear you guys' feedback on the matter.
Well, no matter what becomes of this series, one thing's for sure, I ain't going anywhere.
Finally, the big event, the big talk of the internet. Boy oh boy does this movie look amazing. Roll that masterpiece of a trailer, boys.
Wait, no, Forge, that's the wrong trailer, Forge. No, Forge, that's the wrong trailer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, but no, get that gunk off our screen. There, much better.
Hard to believe that this all started with a widely despised abomination of a trailer and then quickly turned around and became one of the most highly anticipated and epic-looking video game adaptations ever. It really does go to show how mutually beneficial it is when big movie studios do their homework and show their respect to the fans. Which is more than you could say for other adaptations. And the best part? Sonic 3 is adapting arguably the best storyline ever, Sonic Adventure 2 Don't At Me. I'll admit I was a little sad that these movies basically skipped Metal Sonic and went straight to Shadow, but considering who the director is, it actually makes a lot of sense. For those who don't know, Jeff Fowler, the director of all three of these movies, actually did some work with the original cinematics for the Shadow the Hedgehog game. So in a funny way, it's almost like Jeff was in a hurry to work with his metaphorical son once again. And I can't fault him at all, because wow does he look like he's doing Shadow plenty of justice here. Mannerisms, abilities, backstory, everything. And I'm just gonna say it, my heart is not ready for his and Maria's dynamic on the big screen. I'm just not ready. I don't think anyone is.
If people actually start cheering when she dies, I might burn the theater down.
Also, we are 100% getting the Death Egg in this movie. See this thing behind Tails? Doesn't that look very Death Egg-like? My guess is they'll likely combine it with the Ark from Sonic Adventure 2. Which honestly makes a lot of sense. The Ark was basically a Death Egg anyway. Additionally, there seems to be a pretty persistent rumor that this movie will be rated PG-13 instead of PG, which I can't say for certain is true, but I would be strangely okay with it if it meant Shadow is going to go absolutely berserk on GON agents. I guess we'll see about that though. All in all, this movie looks excellent, and I am stoked to see it in theaters. This really is shaping up to be the year of Shadow.
Can't wait for Mufasa to get thrown off a cliff again.
In conclusion, boy has it been a great time to be a Sonic fan. Sega has really been turning themselves around lately, and that's not without thanks to partners like Paramount and IDW. Sure, there have been a lot of rough spots like Sonic Boom, Sonic 06, Sonic Prime, etc., but honestly, I still can't help but appreciate that when it comes to Sonic games. The willingness to try different things. Every single Sonic property is an exploration and experimentation with different concepts. Some are loved, and others not so much. Nevertheless, I can't help but still appreciate the effort Sega continues to put into their brand, regardless of reception. This is a company that I will always look up to, and Sonic will always be one of my favorite franchises because of it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for partaking in this video, Forge.
I must go. My people need me. Send my check by email.
Sorry I've taken such a long break. There have been a number of things taking up my busy schedule, but I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things just in time for Spooky Month, with possibly another break in November, but we'll have to wait and see. And just so you know, I haven't forgotten about that LEGO Iblis build I did a poll for a while back. So here's a sneak preview for it. Hope to have that one up very soon. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later this October.